there was no one more affected by the impacts of climate change in Canada than Indigenous peoples. So many communities are still to this day evacuated and unable to be in their landscapes. There is such a thing as climate trauma. I'm seeing it live right now in communities, and we can do better.
It's a relationship, it's a doing, it's an activity. The Indigenous science that Indigenous peoples practice, when I use science, I use it very specifically for a reason. There's different types of knowledge systems. But in this context, I use science because Indigenous people's knowledge of the land, it's about the science of the land, it's about the science of the water, it's about the science of the species, the animal species as well.
Over 35 Indigenous communities have cared for and depended on this rainforest for millennia. The Cleoquot region is home to the Tlo'okweyat, Ahousaht, and Heshkwet First Nations. Simca Martin of the Tlo'okweyat First Nation is a musician, entrepreneur, and activist. She guides visitors through the waters and helps them better understand how Tlo'okweyat people relate to the environment. Her music raises awareness about the issues impacting her ancestral lands.
Mind pollution means that none of us are free to live like our ancestors, how life used to be. If you look into the picture forensically, you may be deeply disturbed internally.
With climate change, we know that there are entire communities, that in a period of time will no longer be able to receive the things that they need, like the goods that they need to continue to survive in the community. So there's an important sociocultural destruction that is attached to climate change. It's having pretty significant impacts on health and safety of individuals.
You're being taught how to be courageous and bold under pressure. You're being taught how to take the right survival-based risks. You're being taught how not to be impulsive. You're being taught how to develop your sound judgment and your strong wisdom that you need not just to survive and be an efficient provider, but also those kinds of skills that you're learning about yourself are very transferable to the modern world.
Nipana Kitiawank, water is life. That's in our language. It's literally a truth, but yet people are not taking it seriously. If we as humans do not have clean drinking water, we cannot survive. We have a history of injustice against Indigenous people, through conquest and colonization and land dispossession, and the list goes on. But in this 21st century, we're having injustice in that pipelines aren't put into the wealthy environments. They're put in brown, Indigenous, Black, and poor environments.
They call it a pipeline, but those on the front lines know that black snake was sent for us to grow, to shed the skin our ancestors pray, of wounds old and calloused, so that we may stay, so that we may unite, unity our tool. No weapons are found in this court of rule. Men becoming ki'ai, steadfast in their guard, protecting women's hearts as their song become roots, roots to cast out healing for all sentient beings, to honor sacred mother, heart forward we heal. The salmon will run, the Mauna will breathe, the rivers will flow. The rainbow is here and prophecy tells us all generations will hear.
Stand up with the First Nations and our people that been living here for thousands of years. Stand up. We've been fighting for our freedom since the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria. Stand up with the First Nations and our people that been living here for thousands of years. Stand up. We've been fighting for our freedom since the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria.